elite universities have found a near-perfect business. It uses an asset they already own. It requires almost no new infrastructure. It faces no admissions gatekeeping, no rankings pressure, no accreditation tied to the credential, and the buyers are corporations with training budgets rather than students with student loans. The product is the executive certificate, and the margins are, by design, not public. Let's look at the numbers that are public. Harvard Business School's executive education arm posted $253 million in revenue in fiscal 2025 across 170 programs and 12,256 participants. That works out to an average of roughly $20,600 per participant. Harvard's AMP, the Advanced Management Program, targets leaders with 20 to 25 years of experience at organizations with $250 million or more in revenue. Program price, up to $94,000. Wharton's senior leadership programs go up to $75,000. Stanford's 4-week residential executive program is $50,000. These are not outliers. Now look at the cost side. The building already exists. The faculty are already employed by the university on salary. Their marginal cost for teaching an executive session on top of their regular load is small. The brand was built over decades through accredited degree programs, research output, and Nobel laureates. Executive education borrows that brand at zero incremental cost to create it, only the marginal cost to deploy it. Here's the structural comparison that matters. An MBA student pays roughly $100,000 per year in tuition. They go through a competitive admissions process, and the school is under intense scrutiny, rankings pressure, employment outcome reporting. The credential is accredited. If the school's placement rates drop, it affects ranking, which affects admissions, which affects tuition revenue. An executive certificate participant pays $5,000 to $94,000 for a program lasting days to weeks. There is no admissions requirement beyond a job title and a corporate sponsor. The certificate carries the Harvard or Wharton name, but is not an accredited degree and triggers none of the regulatory or rankings accountability that comes with being one. The margin structure this creates is the point. Bloomberg Businessweek reported in May 2026 that business schools are, in the words of the dean they interviewed, desperately looking for alternative revenue streams to finance their marquee MBA programs. Executive education is the primary answer. It subsidizes the degree programs that built the brand in the first place. At the same time, the corporate buyers of these programs are making a different calculation than an individual student would. A company sending an executive to a week at Harvard is spending $15,000 to $30,000 from a training and development budget, deducting it as a business expense, and getting an outcome that is partly development and partly retention and signaling. The executive gets a Harvard certificate, a LinkedIn credential, and an alumni email. The company gets loyalty and a talking point in recruiting. Harvard gets the margin. Here's what this means structurally. Executive education is not a scam. The faculty are real, the peer networks are real, and some of the content genuinely cannot be replicated cheaply. But the pricing isn't set by what the content costs to deliver. It's set by what the brand name is worth on a corporate expense report, which is a very different number. The result is a product priced on brand prestige, with costs that reflect actual delivery, where the gap between those two numbers flows to the institution, cross-subsidizing programs that are under more scrutiny and more competitive pressure. And it's growing. The global executive education market is currently estimated between $10.9 billion and $46 billion, depending on how you define the category. Unikin 2025 survey of member schools reported 13% growth in open enrollment revenue year over year. Over the same period, large enterprise learning and development budgets contracted by roughly 17%. So as the corporate buyers of executive education are cutting total L&D spend, they're concentrating the remaining budget into premium branded programs, the exact ones with the highest margins. So here's what to actually think about if you're evaluating one of these programs. 3 questions matter more than the brand name. 1. What specific outcome, skill, or credential does this certificate provide that couldn't be obtained from a lower-cost alternative? And is that outcome actually what you or your company needs? 2. Who is actually teaching this program? Are they the same faculty whose research built the brand? Or are they primarily adjuncts and practitioners brought in specifically for the executive track? 3. What does the post-program alumni network actually look like in your industry? Because for some programs, the peer group is the product, not the content. And that's only worth something if the cohort composition matches your goals. Quick recap. Harvard Exec Ed alone is a $253 million annual business. Average price per participant is over $20,000. The brand was built by accredited degree programs that carry accountability this product doesn't. The margin structure was described by business school deans themselves as an alternative revenue stream for their flagship programs. And the market is growing at 13% per year, while overall corporate training budgets shrink. Because corporations are consolidating what they spend into premium branded programs. That's the structure. Whether that structure works for you depends on the 3 questions. If breaking down the actual business models behind things that look like pure education is useful to you, subscribe. See you in the next one.